What's up, guys? Welcome back to King Cracker Sports. Mike here. Today we're doing our first positional ranking video of the draft season. I might have done one during the regular season for quarterbacks or just a preview. But yeah, we're actually going to do a rankings today. Now, before we get into that, I want to address the elephant in the room. If you saw last Friday's mock draft, you'll know that that was not my best work. And one of the key ways you can tell that that's not my best work is that Sam Hubbard was drafted twice in one round. I was a little bit, focused on other things. I was behind on when I wanted to get it uploaded. I wanted to have it uploaded by like Wednesday, Thursday. It was Friday, and I still hadn't had it done yet, and I was at like pick 20. Sam Hubbard was drafted at 23 by the Rams and 31 by the Patriots. And I watched it through before I uploaded it, and it looked fine. I didn't catch it. And by the time I noticed it, it had been 3 hours since it was uploaded. And, believe me, let's just call it what it was. It was a really bad mock draft. The picks weren't necessarily bad, but the fact that a player gets drafted twice automatically makes that pretty bad. That was probably my worst mock draft because that's something that's Bush League shit, and I should have caught that. However, at the same time, if it's in the description, because after I noticed it, I put it in the description, hey, listen, guys, I didn't realize at the time that Sam Hubbard was drafted twice. I don't need 5, 6, 7 people telling me, did you know Sam Hubbard was drafted twice in this? Yes, I do realize that. If you read the description, it's in there too. Listen, bad mock draft on my part. Was in a time crunch. Previewed it before I uploaded it. Didn't notice it. Now I notice it, and now I feel like an idiot. However, I don't need you telling me that it's there. I'm already way ahead of you. I've noticed it's there since right after, a couple hours after it came out, before it really got any views at all. So let's just draw a line in the sand. Bad mock draft. You'll have another one either at the end of the month or at the beginning of next month, and it'll be a lot better. Everyone's only going to be drafted once, and, after that, the combine will have happened, so maybe we'll get a little bit more clarity to this class. Now that I've rambled on for 2.5 minutes, let's get into the fucking quarterback rankings, why don't we? I think that would be a great idea. Do you think that's a great idea? Let's go. All right. So, at the beginning of the year, not the beginning of the year, beginning of the draft season, which for me really begins in August, we heard nonstop about just how good this quarterback class was. You were going to have Darnold and Rosen and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, and these guys could all go top 10. And I think a lot of us bit into that hype a lot, including myself. And for whatever reason this year, it seemed like all of those guys had their way too many ups and not enough ups and way too many downs. Not to say that I don't like any of these quarterbacks, but none of these guys in my mind are anywhere near what we sold them to be in the offseason. Now, these guys can still be very good quarterbacks, and I still think that they are really good quarterbacks, but I don't think any of them are the fucking demigods that, they were hyped up to be in the summer, and we got to see a lot of their flaws this season. First is Josh Rosen. Now, he actually started the process in August as my #1 quarterback. Then he succeeded it to Darnold. Now he's back. Rosen reminds me a lot of the things that reminds me a lot of Jared Goff and the traits that I saw with him. He's a little small. You've got to obviously worry about injury pass. That's one thing you didn't have to worry about Goff. Goff threw the ball 900 fucking times in a season or whatever at Cal, but didn't take a lot of hits, surprisingly. Rosen's taken a lot of hits because his offensive line has been atrocious, which is entirely Jim Moore's fault for not being able to protect a fucking 5-star quarterback with anything more than 3-star offensive linemen. And you know what? He lost pretty much all of his weapons. He had nothing to really work with, but he made the best of it. I mean, we saw the highest of highs for him at the very beginning of the season against Texas A&M, where he led them from down 28, down 34, something like that, beat Texas A&M. He's had some really bad games too, But when he's on, he's really fucking on. Now, a lot of teams are going to be scared off by his character. They don't, Trent Dilfer says he's uncoachable because during an Elite 11 camp, Rosen was very mouthy and everything like that. There's obviously certain teams. I mean, the Jets, let's be honest, the Jets aren't trading up for him because, Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, is like buddy-buddy with Trump, and you're not going to draft your franchise quarterback, the guy who wears fuck Trump hats. People don't like the fact that he's got a hot tub in his dorm room. I think that that's fucking amazing. If I actually was on, was on college campus and had a dorm room, I'd want a fucking hot tub too. I'm jealous. But yeah, I mean, I think, on the field, I think he's really spot on. He's obviously got the best film, I think, of really any of the quote-unquote more pro-style quarterbacks in this class. But off-field, I mean, there are going to be questions about his character concern, his leadership, his medicals. I mean, he's had a concussion, a dislocated shoulder. I think he had 2 concussions this year. Like, that's a lot to deal. Like, the guy's never completed a full season. So we'll have to see. Like I said, Rosen's my number 1 guy right now. He's sitting at number 5 on my board. So that's actually pretty high. I haven't rejigged my board in a little bit, but yeah, I think I'd be comfortable taking him at about 5. Obviously, he's not going to be there at 5. This is going to be a draft where 3-4 quarterbacks are on the top 5. But you know how rankings work with me. Number 2 is Sam Darnold out of USC, the golden boy coming into the year. He did not show that at all this year. It seems like during the offseason, everyone knew that Darnold was going to be the guy in at Southern Cal, and they keyed in really quickly. And man, he had some just fuck awful games. I mean, Washington State was not good. Cal, I'm a Cal fan. How does Cal shut down Sam Darnold? And they did. I mean, he had way too many fucking turnovers. He had, 17 interceptions this year? And according to Pro Football Focus, a ton more that could have been intercepted. He's got to go into a situation where he's got a quarterback coach that can coach him right the fuck up. And I think, looking at Cleveland... No, keep Hugh Jackson away from him. Keep Hugh Jackson away from him. Because I think, Darnold and Kaiser are actually pretty similar players. As far as athleticism, I think Kaiser's got a way stronger arm than Sam Darnold. But, as far as athleticism, being able to make plays, and just the adverse risk of they're going to fuck up and turn the ball over. But I think Darnold's got a very high ceiling. If someone can work this out for him, if someone can actually fine-tune his mistakes, and also I hate the offense that USC was running. T. Martin and Clay Helton just didn't know what to do with a fucking Ferrari that they had at quarterback, and they forced him into these weird throws. And Darnold, I think, just tried to play hero ball because it worked for him in his freshman year. He thought it would work for him in his sophomore year. It fucking didn't, bud. If you can get him a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, head coach that are willing to really put in the effort. I don't know if he's ready to start day 1. But I do think that he is a top 10 talent in this draft, if that makes any sense. I think that he is going to have to be kind of your, slowly, bring him on, develop him. Maybe by mid-season, you can bring him in. He's like a Jared Goff in that sense, not a Carson Wentz. Number 3 at the quarterback position is Baker Mayfield. This was someone that really wasn't even on my radar when I was watching. I knew who Baker Mayfield was. I did not think he was an NFL quarterback. He was 5'11", 6 feet tall. Sorry, it's 8 a.m. in the morning when I'm shooting this. He was 6 feet tall, a little bit chubby. Really hadn't seen him make an NFL throw. And then this year happened, and he obviously won the Heisman. That really doesn't matter in terms of draft stock. We've seen Troy Smith win the Heisman and then go 6th round. However, my point being is that he still put up the same video game numbers he was doing before, but he was making a lot more NFL-type throws, and the accuracy was there. Now, the biggest, thing for him is obviously he's short and plays in the spread, and that's sometimes all NFL teams will see. He's short, plays in a spread. So what can we do with him? That's automatically probably going to bump him down a couple of rounds on some teams' boards, but it only takes one. We've seen this before where a bad quarterback, it only takes one to take them. E.J. Manuel by the Bills, Blake Bortles by the Jacksonville Jaguars. It only takes one, and believe me, he's a way better quarterback than either of those guys. But it only takes one, and I'm hoping that some team gets their head out of their ass and actually takes Baker Mayfield where he belongs, which is, in that top 15 range. Hey, Arizona, right there at 15. Right there at 15, Baker Mayfield's 13th on my board. If he's there at 15, snatch his ass up in a fucking minute. The off-field for him, off-field. Some people, he may rub some people the wrong way. Same thing as Josh Rosen. There was the crotch grabbing at Kansas, which I just thought was fucking hilarious. And to be honest, Kansas deserved that. One, you're fucking Kansas. What the fuck are you doing? Two, there are kids around, and you're going to blatantly show Oklahoma that disrespect by not shaking hands? What the hell is the matter with you? You deserve that ass whooping. Plus, they were taking cheap shots at Baker after the whistle. So you know what? They deserve the crotch grabbing and the fuck yous. Listen, Baker Mayfield has definitely done a 180 in my books. I think that he's one of my favorite prospects to watch. And as someone who also supports Texas, this hurts a bit. But man, I love watching some Baker Mayfield tape. Next up at the quarterback position is Lamar Jackson. And this is one of the more polarizing prospects in the draft. Because obviously draft Twitter, and I don't consider myself as part of draft Twitter. I don't. I do videos, I don't tweet. Anyways, my point. Not the point. Draft Twitter thinks that Lamar Jackson is top 5 talent. And I personally don't. I have him at 36 on my board, which is about a early to mid second round pick. I still think that there's something there. However, Matt Miller or Mel Kiper, McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, Mike Mayock, when they say that they hear that from NFL teams that Lamar Jackson isn't a first round pick or a second round pick or a third round pick, and they're not hearing anything, people, do not get angry at them. They are not the ones saying that that he is not a first round pick. They are reporting exactly what NFL teams are telling them. Okay? I know for a fact that Matt Miller has Lamar Jackson as a second round talent on his board. Why? Read his fucking big board. It's right fucking there. I don't know about Jeremiah. I don't know about Mayock. I don't read Kiper or McShay. But my point being, if they're just reporting what an NFL team says, don't shit all over them for it. Shit on the NFL teams for it. Okay, listen, Lamar Jackson at the end of the day is 6'3", 200 pounds. It doesn't look like he's any bigger than that, to be honest, guys. I've seen him listed at 215, and it made me laugh. Now, he can get up to that size. However, he was not playing at that, and he runs a lot. And you know what? His deep ball accuracy is pretty spotty, and his mid accuracy is kind of spotty. But same thing as Darnold. If you get him in a room with a quarterback coach that can help fine-tune the actual the actual passing part of being a quarterback and help him refine his skills there, you may have something. I'm not saying that he shouldn't run the ball as much as he does, because that's his biggest weapon. But at the same time, he runs a ball that much, he's bound to get hurt. He's bound to get hurt. You hope he doesn't, but, the odds start increasing. Like I said, I like Lamar Jackson. I just don't see him as a top 10 player. But I'm also not like the NFL, where there are certain people who want him to play receiver, or they just don't think he's worth it whatsoever. And both of those are just so wrong. All right, number 5. I'm pretty sure all of you think it's going to be Josh Allen. It is not Josh Allen, it's Mason Rudolph. Listen, they're close on my board. Rudolph is 44, and Allen is 53. And I kind of see both of them. I've given both of them kind of that Deshaun Kaiser, and Patrick Mahomes comparison. I've actually got Rudolph compared to Mahomes because they're very similar on my board, and I think that their strengths are very, very similar. Except I think Rudolph has a weaker arm. Josh Allen, I think, is Deshaun Kaiser. Like, he's just a white Deshaun Kaiser. This is really a toss-up. Rudolph has some placement issues. The ball kind of dies in the air sometimes while he's putting up his video game numbers at Oklahoma State. And I want to see him at the Combine. Basically, this is almost a tie for me, and we'll have to see at the Combine because I want to see their footwork at the Combine and see that might end up being a bit of a tiebreaker for me. But I like Mason Rudolph's tape a lot more than I like Josh Allen's tape. Josh Allen's tape was bad. Mason Rudolph was fairly consistent throughout the entire season, and Josh Allen was consistently inconsistent and had a lot of bad games, like throwing 90 yards against fucking Hawaii. Like I said, I've rambled on for a lot, guys. So that's going to do it for today. As always, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell another friend, and I'll see you again next time where we talk about the running backs.